Well, hello again. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Marc Harvill Art. And in this tutorial, I wanted to talk about glazing. And I've been working on this painting here. This is a commissioned painting for a gentleman that is getting ready to retire. He's owned a deli for over 30 years. And so this is going to be a surprise gift. So it's a very unique and interesting, different sort of commission. So I've been working at putting this couple in here, and I've gotten about as far as I want to go with my oil paints now. And at this point in time, I want to more approximate some of the colors and shadows that I'm seeing from the reference photo. And so without getting too much more into this, I do want to kind of jump into this, but with glazing, you are able to create using a medium, and in this case I like to use either Alkyd or I like to use my Liquin. So either one, I've got actually both. But in this case, I'm going to mix up a little bit of Liquin and then my color, and that way it'll be nice and transparent so that everything that I've painted on this kind of below the surface will show through. But with the glaze, it'll kind of help to adjust the value and help me to get that color kind of where I want it to go. Also, I like glazing oftentimes because I will really want to bring out the colors, the vibrancy, the pigment. I want to bring all that out, and so without getting too much more conversation going, let's go ahead and jump into doing that. Next, I'm going to shake up my medium here, and you don't need a whole lot. I only need just a little bit. I usually just take kind of a small scoopful with my palette knife, so I don't need a lot. A little goes a long way. And then I'll just use a soft brush. So I've got a nice soft kind of flat brush here that I'll be using. So the first thing, according to the reference photo I'm seeing here, go ahead and bring this down a little bit here. So with my reference photo, the hair on our subject is a little more to the sienna, kind of the brownish red hue. And I started off pretty light here so that I can come back now and kind of really get the color I want it. So I'm going to grab some of this Liquin, and I don't need a lot of paint. It's already pretty transparent already, but I'll just come through here. And you can see how that kind of just adjusts the color. But it also really kind of, it doesn't cover up any of that underpainting. So I want to kind of keep a halo over her head because of the backlight. So I won't take this all the way to the edge. So we can see how different the two sides are. And again, this is just pure sienna that I'm using. Come over on the other side now. And of course, when you do this, you want to make sure that your oil paint is very nice and dry before you apply this. Otherwise, you're gonna not be happy with yourself. So just keep it relatively, you don't want to make it thick, just a nice thin coat will kind of do the trick. Now, the other thing I can do with my glaze is I've got pockets of dark. And so what I would do with that is I probably would go ahead and grab more of my Liquin and then come into a little bit of burnt umber. Let's see if that's going to be enough to do this. So we have a lot of shadowing here. And I don't quite think it's dark enough. I think I'm going to bring in a little blue. So umber and blue. Ultramarine blue, that is. And with that I can create kind of a darker got a nice pocket right here. And just continuing here on the other side, we got a little more dark right here. And this pocket right here is really dark. Mix up a little bit more of that blue and umber. And make sure that I've got enough Liquin here that it stays pretty transparent. I'll just darken this little region right here. Okay, and so I think that is a lot better. I may come in with some more Liquin here and a little bit of highlight because on her bangs here, especially in the sun portion, kind of in the forefront, it's a little bit lighter. Therefore, I can just kind of mix up sort of an orangish gold color. I'm going to add a little orange to my palette. Okay. And then some of these regions here can really bring out that highlight. All right, so that kind of gets our hair a little more where we'd want to have it. And the other thing I'd like to accomplish is here in the face region, I'd like to bring out the shadow a little bit better, specifically kind of on the right side of the face and kind of into the neck. So I'm grabbing some Liquin, and I'm just going to grab Pure Umber. Liquin and Umber. And we'll start down here on the neck. I just would like to darken this region a little bit better. So that kind of darkens it better, and then I'm going to come under the jaw a little bit. Just picking up some more Liquin and Umber. One thing I'll do as well is I can wipe a little of that away so it's not so intense. You just don't need a lot on your brush. You don't need a lot of paint. Matter of fact, you'll have more Liquin than you will paint. There'll just be certain regions where I think it'll just be a little bit darker. And then kind of moving into the side of her face here, we'll get a little darker as the hair starts to kind of form a shadow. And then over here, going to go kind of into the side of her nose. Kind of bring that shadow out a little bit more. Another thing I want to do is her eyes. I don't have the best reference photo, so it was hard to decide if I'm looking at gray eyes or just sort of a brownish kind of eye. But the more I look at it, the more I think it's more on the gray side. And I kind of started with kind of some brown, so I'm going to come back with a glaze. And this is another nice thing about the glazes. I can come through and I can just completely change the color. So I've got a gray mixed up here. And just take some of this Liquin, kind of go into that gray color that I've mixed up. And I'm going to come through here and turn her eye more gray. I think we've got some gray eyes. Now another thing I like to do, I already kind of painted it in, but you're always going to have hues of kind of pinks around the cheeks and in the nose region, because oftentimes on human anatomy, blood vessels are a lot closer to the surface of the skin in those areas. So I like to come and create a glaze. And I like to take crimson for this. So I've got some alizarin crimson here, and I think a little alizarin. And I can't tell if it's the photo quality or if it's just how it is, but the photo has a little bit more reddish kind of in and throughout anyway, but specifically I want to pick up that alizarin just a little bit because it's pretty powerful. So a little alizarin, maybe a little sienna. And I'm going to come through here like on the cheek region. I just think there's a lot more red kind of on those cheeks. Could be makeup, could just be her skin tone. If you can help it, it's nice to have good quality photos. Unfortunately, when I got this commission, I didn't get the best photo. Sometimes you just got to work with what you got. So bring a little more pink. I think there's a little more kind of in the forehead region. I can just kind of bring in a little pink right there. And then in her nose, get a little more color. Sienna, crimson, Liquin, and kind of get that nose a little better. All right, so that really kind of helps to bring to bring that out a little bit better. All right, so that's just a real quick example of how I like to bring in some glazes at the latter part of nearly completing a painting. I'm gonna let this go ahead and dry, and I think a final thing I'm gonna do will be, I'm gonna kind of come back and scumble on with the dry brush blend some more of the highlights and kind of soften them a little bit, and I think that'll be how I complete this. The shirt I'm going to wait to dry a little bit longer, maybe another day or so, and then I'm going to come back and add some glazes on top of that, very similar to what I did with the face here. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll look forward to presenting another brand new painting tutorial here real soon. So thanks, and have a great day. Bye.